Got everyone on edge. I got everyone on edge.
Boy.
Yeah, I saw it. I'm good.
Paranoid as always. If I get my words out.
And that was the second time I saved someone from a fire.
Oh, you're my hero. So, welcome to Stasis Lock, episode 170. BotCon is back. I'm joined tonight by Angry Mike. Where do people find you?
You can find me everywhere as Rainbow Bright Mike tonight.
Oh.
And Dalton, where can people find you at, man?
You can find me everywhere at Daltonian CF, so I can remember which hand I was using.
That's what she said.
We don't want to see the other hand. We don't know where it's at.
It was right up here.
Oh, easy. And Candace, where can people find you at?
You can find me on Facebook at CannedIceArt. You can find me on Instagram, CannedIce.Santora. You can find me on Twitter at CannedSantora and YouTube, CannedSantora.
And we're also joined by Brett tonight. Brett, where can people find you at, man?
Mega Months, Mega Toy Fan on Facebook, and Mike is trash.
We have a. Did anybody get anything this week?
I did.
Yes.
Oh wow! Okay, Mike, what'd you get?
I got in today the Titans Return Orion packs. That was part of that 2-pack.
Ooh, strong start.
And then I actually got from a mutual friend of ours, your old Titans Return Nautica.
Nardica.
It's making its rounds.
Nardica.
That bitch has made her round from Louisiana to Ohio, back down south.
Back down to Arkansas.
Back down to Arkansas.
Yeah, dude, it was funny, man. Like I saw you post. I think it was in the cafe. You posted. You were like, "Hey, does anybody have a Nautica?" And then, like, as soon as you asked me for Mike, like, is it Mike still on Facebook? And I was just like, I was like, yeah. He called him Mike Swag. And I was like, oh my god. His screen name is Swage, for what it's worth. But
yeah, he actually called me, messaged me the other day. I was like, dude, I thought you were dead. So he dipped out for a minute, and Swage is a cool dude, man. I've always had fun hanging out with that guy. It was him and Bradley Thorin Z. I don't know if I put the dude's last name out there. That convinced me and Angry Mike here to go get pizza at Gino's at BotCon 2015. Gino's is
awesome. Oh man, like I know, like as soon as we or at least I went to Chicago in 2016, like I was like, we're doing that. So, but yeah, man, he's a cool dude. But sometimes he'll just like disappear from social media for a while.
Yeah, he did away with his account, and then he started a new one. What he ended up doing, he said.
Oh, okay, I got you. He got a new phone number. Actually, I got a new phone, so I lost his old phone number. He texted me a while back. He's like, he started asking me questions. I was like, yeah, but who is this? he was like, for real?
What's up, Brother Kyle?
It happens.
We got Brotha Kyle in the chat. We got Fan of Cool Stuff 27. Rodri, g'day, mate. Also in the chat. Brother Kyle put his audio rereading of Animorphs on hold. Yeah. Mike, is that all you got, Mike?
Oh yeah, those are the only two things I got this week.
Oh, okay.
Your pups.
Dakota, I sent you a picture. If you want to share that, it's on Messenger right now. But if you want to share that's fine.
On Messenger. I'm not getting it yet. It's not popping up for me. It's on my text message.
That's what I meant. So okay, it's on text then. I couldn't remember which way.
Oh yeah, okay. I don't know. You guys see that?
Wow.
That's
TFCon 2018.
Yeah, that's your boy getting a mouthful. So
I said, man, you ain't gonna eat all that. Hell, I ain't.
You know, I'm trying to remember. I think. Oh, you know what happened? I didn't get to. That's like the I have the worst luck with Gino's, man. Like I'm pretty sure I ended up taking a few slices back to the hotel, but I forgot and I left them in the car, and I didn't remember until the next day. But it's like whenever we went with Swage and Thorin Z, like I left it in their hotel room. And like, dude, by the time I saw it in the car, like, I just took it out and just like set it.
So we
Just set
had
it.
who else was with us at that one? Someone else was there with us.
Josh Fisher was there.
That's right.
Josh
Yeah.
Fisher and Jamie and you and your wife.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That was
So-
funny.
Yeah, man, dude, the nachos debacle, man. He was like, excuse me, ma'am, you're a sweetheart and everything, but these nachos are hot shit. Dude, I love Josh, man. But,
He's a little on the blunt side. It was kind of funny. I
We
just
got,
remember I had like one of those the deep dish. I think I had like one, and I'm like, I'm full, and you're like lightweight.
yep. Oh man, I started powering through the next slice.
Dude, I remember the first time
I couldn't do it.
The first time I saw Dakota eat was when I really noticed it.
Like it's one of the 7 wonders or something.
It was what was it?
I haven't seen the great.
It was
Privilege yet, but I
was
saw Dakota eat a whole deep dish pizza. So I mean, that's got to count for something.
it was all but one slice. To be fair.
It was,
I think
it was,
the first time Mike saw me eat had to have been an In-N-Out.
no,
at
TF
BotCon.
Con,
In-N-Out's awesome.
TF Con 2014, Chicago. When we were down there in that restaurant, it's like you got like 5 plates
yeah.
of sushi, and I
Yeah,
kept
yeah, I got a
watching
bunch
and watching. I'm like, where the fuck's he putting all this shit? And then now that I go out to eat them in places, it's like this motherfucker be eating 4 or 5 plates with my 1 or 2 plates. I'm like, God damn, son.
I'm my metabolism still works ever so slightly,
Yeah.
and I put it down.
Mike,
Yeah, dude,
Mike, unlike you, Dakota isn't banned from any Golden Corrals. So
That's the thing. I don't even.
They
know.
welcome me at the corral.
You know, it never fails to make me laugh. Every time we go to a restaurant, by the time Dakota's done ordering, the waitress leaves or tries to leave.
it's like always skip. Yeah, it happened at the hibachi.
Yeah,
It did.
that's not the first time that happened. That happened to me, Dalton, Josh, and James, Victory Saber 77 at BotCon 2014. There was a hibachi place across the street, and like everyone's just like sitting there waiting, like trying to waiting for me to order essentially. And I don't know if it's because I have a commanding presence, but
Let's go with that.
That's what you call it.
As soon as I was done ordering, she was just like, "All right, I'll go get that put in," and everyone's like, "Whoa, wait!"
That's just
How
for
is
him.
just one guy?
Yeah.
The funny, something similar happened. Remember when you and Josh came here for my show? We were at the hibachi grill, and he puts his order in. He walks off, and she's like, "Oh no, I'm not done yet. I'm not done ordering." He had just ordered the sushi part. He was like, "Oh no, I also want hibachi too."
No, that's just the appetizer. What? Slow down.
The sushi is the sushi just kind of primes me. You know what I mean? So, I order.
I like me some sushi.
I do. Like I love it. But yeah, man, it's always hilarious. Like that's always a fun thing to do. Just like go to a new hibachi with me and just see, everyone start putting money on. All right, is she gonna think it's done after he's done ordering?
Let Dakota go first and then see what happens.
You know, we actually should make that part of like a game. We should
just a game show. Like, all right, is it gonna be for this guy or the whole table?
Is she gonna make the waitress quit, or I mean, how bad is he gonna be?
God.
Well, when we did that hibachi, if you remember, she came up, she took all of our orders, and then like halfway through, she's like, "Well, someone else is doing our shift," and they switch shifts, and I'm thinking,
what?
Are we really taking that long to eat? I mean,
was that last year or 2018?
That was 19. That was 2019.
That was 2019.
Robocon.
Yeah. Because she left, and then someone else took our money and everything and finished us, and I was like, I guess this is a normal thing for you guys. I don't know. So.
I feel like, honestly, I don't feel like we took too long there. I know we took too long throughout the day getting there.
Well, that's true. We had a lot to do. We bought a lot.
Speaking
of stuff.
Josh Fisher,
we bought a lot of stuff too.
Josh, we were telling stories of eating and how I order food, and the story about you and the hot shit nachos at Gino's in Chicago. I feel like I have a pretty good impression of you, Josh, but I'm not going to do it again. So, because now I'm feeling self-conscious about it.
Well, Josh has a pretty good impression of what's his name?
Everyone.
Well,
Josh is an impressions guy, man. Like he's good. Like don't sleep on him. Don't lose your footing, so to speak. we got Kabar.
Just one step at a time.
In the chat.
I'm just reading his comments right now. I mean, he's going off. You know, I mean, not everyone has the nachos that you really, really want, you know, but maybe they're the ones that you need. So,
Josh, I said, as soon as you took that first bite, I said, you were like, excuse me, ma'am. I don't mean to bother you, but these nachos are hot shit. like just that polite Southern
bluntness.
Still like jab in the side, you know, that you know, fuck yeah, you know, that was essentially it. $8 nachos, bro. They weren't even worth it.
That's what Joel said. I'm like, what's wrong? I thought they were fine.
I took a few bites. I was like, oh, I don't know about that, but Dalton,
he didn't even finish them.
No, dude, I don't blame him. In a teacup, 7 chips with a teaspoon.
There's like a bunch of bean dip. That's what it was. Yep.
Cold refried beans. Yeah.
I remember him saying that this ain't nothing but bean dip. I mean,
yeah, he wasn't wrong. Dalton, what'd you get this week?
I got a lot of nothing.
All right, Candace.
I got the same thing.
Boom.
I got from Galactic Problems on Etsy. She's an artist, digital artist, and God, I'm so sorry, I suck at this.
Oh wow!
And, these cool little nifty pins she made.
Are those pins or buttons?
Those
buttons. Sorry,
nice.
Okay, well, no,
like
awesome.
Actually, they're buttons.
Instant
Where'd
regret.
you get those? Where'd you get them?
Galactic Problems on Etsy.
Ooh, I like that. Link.
I might have to pick up some of those. Those
Google,
are cool.
Google Galactic Problems on Etsy, or Galactic Problems in Etsy. That were like I wasn't sure if they came from Allie or not, from Kitten Fishes, because she makes buttons that she gives away at conventions.
Those look good. I like
Pretty
it.
awesome. And she also sent this little doodle of tarantulas as a thank you. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome. I love personalized stuff like that.
Yes, me too.
Exactly. I got one of the others when they did the cards for BotCon, and they had sketch cards. When I bought something from a certain individual, they sketched something for me and sent it, and I thought that was cool. It's that little extra. I also there was another guy that did. He would do on the box itself, just do little drawings and stuff, and I thought that was cool too. So
well, that was and shout out to my buddy Sergio.
Birdie.
He I think it was TFCon 17.
Did he tweet you? Get it? Tweet.
He didn't tweet me. I sent him my hardcover copy of such a dad joke. I sent him a hardcover copy of Last Stand of the Wreckers to get signed by Nick Roche. And also to pick up a couple of prints, and he did all that. So I mean, shout out to Sergio, he's awesome. And like Nick drew like a little picture, like a little kind of just a quick headshot of Springer in there. Put a little wreck and roll, like it was really awesome, you know. But just little stuff like that. Transformers artists are just so awesome.
Damn right.
So
there you go. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually.
Oh,
you see, because sometimes when I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna drag it out.
Not even gonna drag it out.
I'm not gonna drag it out.
Have you ever dreamed that when you
because when you member and because so I guess if Tyler jumps in at any point, somebody let me know.
I don't know. I can't tell. Only you know.
No, he'll probably say something in the private chat. He'll be like, "Hey, look,
that's right. Yeah, exactly. You're correct.
But I feel like he'll hit up the private chat, I guess.
That's cool.
So yeah, we'll see.
If we notice.
This week, instead of a episode review, also I didn't get anything this week.
I was gonna say.
I was curious. Did you get anything this week? Oh, and
No,
also,
anything,
guys,
Coda?
get it. It's too late.
well, wait a minute. There's a two-part. There's a two-part to this.
Fun.
There's a two-part to this. Dakota, did you get anything? And did I get something I forgot?
You already said you didn't get anything, so we already knew that.
But I can't ever remember. And last time I said that, he went, "No, you got this." And I was like, "Oh yeah." So I always ask him. Actually, you got this and this. Oh yeah.
Well, actually, it was delivered at this particular time on this particular day because that's when the mailman, when he comes in and he runs and he brings you the mail and he kicks your boxes in.
Wow, Dakota the stalker.
Well, actually, Brett did get something this week.
I actually did get something. I actually did get something, but we can talk about it later.
That's
Yeah,
right.
we'll bring it up momentarily. But yeah, Brett got the biggest something in my opinion.
Yeah, I got a big bill's what I got, but yeah, but that's okay.
Brett got him an invitation down there to the Stasis Ranch.
Oh yeah, I got that too.
This don't worry, I'll go and I'll pet all the horses.
That's good. That's good.
Instead of an episode review this week, we have a beast banging, and our beast banging is, and all these images are courtesy of tfu.info, because I got home early enough to take pictures of the spiders, but I just kind of didn't, and you know what? It's
You're
my fault.
slacking, dude. You're just slacking.
You're slacking.
You're just slacking.
It's slacker.
I know.
It only works on that.
No, I'm pretty sure.
I just thinking of Principal Strickland now.
Worst intro ever.
Jesus. So this is your standard Hasbro Kenner release of Blackarachnia, which was packed in the same wave as a Tarantulas repack that has smooth bubble. And I'm only bringing up this tidbit of information because Tarantulas, I don't think I may have covered it, but I can't remember if I did or didn't. But the one real deco difference here between Blackarachnia and Tarantulas is the striping here on the hands. You see the striping is missing from up here at the ball joint socket piece. And Tarantulas also featured that missing striping paint app. So there's a variant out there for that, for anyone who's interested. This was also repackaged in the car. Yeah, Joe got him one. Joe got him one that was open, but he wanted one that was loose because of like the packaging was a variant as well. It was a smooth bubble instead of a rock bubble. So that's typically how you can tell. Like if you're looking for that variant, look for the elbow here on the figure, and if it does not have the yellow stripe on Tarantulas, you should be good to go. But and also real quick, what's up, Red Wolf? We got Red Wolf 1992 in the chat. But yeah, so definitely not very show accurate at all. And just a repaint of Tarantula. She features black paint apps on the mandibles and on the back, I guess. And you have purple thighs, purple feet, purple head. And you got green arms, very show accurate. And some kind of like smoky green spider eyes.
Be interesting if we got this as a deco on the MP. Be strange for sure.
Would it? Would it though?
Probably better than the Fox Kids Dinobot.
Ooh, you're right. Totally right. I caught myself eyeballing it. Like, I'm like, man, Kabar, man, it's like Kabar's in the chat. Kabar said, Dalton, that's a horrible idea. But like,
I never said it was a good idea.
Kabar pretty much has me convinced. Like, I do need to pick up those Fox Kids repaints. So I'll have something to look forward to at Robocon to hunting down.
Actually, I got some you can buy.
Yeah, but yours are all signed and carded, and I want to open them and play away with them.
Not my Fox ones.
Oh, you're not your Fox ones? Okay, well maybe you actually have some that I can buy.
Actually, I'm not.
But the only Fox Kids figure I'm looking for is the Cheetor.
No one asked you, actually.
Josh Fisher said if your feet are purple, it's beyond time to see a physician.
Oh my god.
This is
Maybe choke my drink.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. So anyways, white paint on the face, Blackarachnia as a toy, and I think even on the card art, utilize the robot mode face, where Tarantulas on the card art and in the show utilize the mutant mask. That. This is honestly, so this is the Takara quote unquote green sticker, even though I'm pretty sure it's a red and white sticker. Doesn't matter, it's the variant. This one I didn't know was different until Joe told me it was different. And at first I thought it was only because of a molded plastic color, but it's a little bit more than that. So this one in spider mode, instead of brown on the mandibles and on the back, features gold. But everything else is the same, except what once was the green button on the top is now a gray button.
Ooh.
And they tried to go a little show accurate. They still kept the purple head and the purple legs and the purple feet. Go see your physician.
Very purpley.
Obviously.
But now she has the gray arms, which isn't still quite 100%. But like at least they tried, and also they painted like the head crest black and the face and the eyes gold instead of white. So like they definitely gave it the college try. I think. You know, but what can you do? And then finally we have the money. This is the Telemoka. Yeah, this is the hill that I die on as far as like superior original Blackarachnia toys. Totally show accurate deco. The gold is a little more pronounced on the back. The hourglass is bigger on the butt, and the striping on the mandibles is even different here too. Okay. Always something.
Oh my Jesus Christ!
What I missed?
Hello, everybody.
Hi,
Hey, Tyler. Tyler, did you get anything this week?
A baby.
That sucks. No, I'm kidding.
Congratulations, Tyler.
Yeah. Congratulations, Tyler.
Welcome to
father.
a lifelong of debt.
Thank you for raising my child for me.
I was a Transformers fan already, so I already know what that's like.
Tyler.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Tyler raised it. So.
Yep.
But all right, well, good. Moving right along. We have the Telemoka in her robot mode, which
I actually got the Japanese. I think it's probably the same, but I bought this one from Japan, and it came with a Japanese DVD of the North American show.
Yeah, but was it sub or was it in like Japanese language, or was it American language? Oh, American.
I never
language.
watched
Jesus
it.
Christ! Listen to this. English. Was it in English? English is only you got American English, then you got the Queen's English, and you got Canada's English. So okay, I got one of the DVDs or a couple of them, but I don't know. I haven't just popped them in to see if they work. So. But no more purple legs, feet, or head. You got it replaced by a nice kind of light caramel color. And spider eyes are gold. The bibbies are gold. And the head, I don't know if the head's molded in black or molded in that kind of weird. Well, I guess it would have been molded in the same color as the shoulders, just because of the originals. And a much more accurate deco on the face, even though it still looks a little, derpy. And they even painted up the mutant mask, but I didn't get pictures of the mutant mask, so what are you gonna do, right?
Nothing, I guess.
Just enjoy it. That's what I tend to try to enjoy it.
I love how her voice conveyed disappointment in you. Like a disappointed spouse. What are you gonna do about it? Nothing, I guess. Like every other night, I'll just take care of myself.
Jesus. You're not wrong. Speaking of not being wrong, you can never be wrong. To follow us on our social media accounts, facebook.com/BSports, twitter.com/StasisLockCast. And you can always email us at StasisLockPodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget to join our group, the Facebook Society. I heard an echo, and it really, I don't know who it was. I'm not going to judge nobody, but you can join our Facebook group, the Beast Wars Society. It's a buy, sell, trade, and discussion group. I feel like I'm losing all my steam.
Try to run you through a speech jammer.
Yeah, losing all my go juice.
That's okay.
All right, let's get into the news. I got something I want to pull up real fast for us to get into it. But before I pull that up and get into it, don't forget.
Such a delayed reaction.
Don't forget to bring your masterpiece Cheetor to Pete's Robocon for the Ultra Gear Stasis Lock photo op. Bring it to Robocon June 5th through 6th, 2020 in Louisville, Kentucky for an epic galloping gyroscopic gathering of the most open Cheetors in one location. I'll be bringing my prototype if anyone wants to, I don't know, touch it.
Potted pussies, touch it.
Yeah. It seems to be a well-liked thing at that show, just to kind of, get hands on, and I don't mind providing that experience with my stuff. I share around, share.
He's not lying. We've roomed together for years.
I'm sorry.
Mike still can't get rid of that rash.
I'm telling you right now, there's a reason why we do separate rooms.
Not this year, buddy.
Are you saying you're okay with someone coming up and grabbing you right by the prototype pussy?
Oh,
That's such a good play on words. Because it's green, who am I to stop him?
Oh.
Dalton, shut up. You've never seen one. You don't even know if that's the real color or not.
wow. Coming in swinging.
Did you miss me?
No, not really, no.
Tyler's got 2 weeks of no one to pick on to catch up for. Dude, them hands are rated E for everyone out here. No. All right. Fun and games. Thursday, I believe it was. Not only myself, but a lot of folks I'm mutual friends with, all posted this mysterious blue question mark. In some form or fashion. It wasn't necessarily the one on the screen, but there was a blue question mark regardless. And I didn't give any context. No one else gave any context. It was just simple, please share. And I like every time I would see one of because I don't know if I was the first one to share it, but I know I was definitely in that first few waves of sharing. And then I saw a couple more go up, and I would heart it. I saw a couple more go up, and I'd heart those. And I know I reached out to the MPSP crew. They shared it, which was really awesome for them. I appreciate all those guys for doing that. And even reached out to the Blackout and Shout crew, and they shared it, and that's awesome. So it was just cool. It was just I can't tell you anything, just trust me and share it. And it was really awesome. But some news came Friday. A teaser came Friday. The BotCon website that had been down for so long, and that may have been earlier in the week, I don't know, and was still not quite running at full capacity, was just kind of churning back up. We all thought it was server maintenance or a server change, what have you. And then Friday, all the BotCon social medias, the website, just changed to please pardon our mess, which really started the hype train rolling. And then Monday, we retreated at, I believe, 7 o'clock in the morning, Central Standard Time, 8 a.m.
Yeah.
He's very early, very unlike the BotCon updates of traditions past, where it was maybe it was like the old BotCon updates or announcements always came the cable guy,
The
sometime
rush hour traffic.
I am so glad that you pointed that out. But
sometime
go on.
between 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. That's when the old updates used to. But we got it Monday morning, super early, and with that release, Carl Hartman had a Facebook post, which is a great guy, one of the founders of BotCon, and I want to read that post. BotCon is something I'm obviously very passionate about, so I'm going to try to get through it quick. It says, "Good morning. This message is kindly directed at my fellow Transformers fans of the Transformers. I already messed it up. This message is kindly directed at my fellow fans of the Transformers franchise. You'll want to read all the way to the end, but please do start from the beginning. This message is cross-posted at allspark.com. Please credit them linking the post. A BotCon story. In 1994, the first BotCon was held in Fort Wayne, Indiana, organized by my brother Jonathan and me. Over the next several years, it was organized by Raksha in 1995, Dennis Barber in 1996, that's Men in Black Productions, and Glenn Hallett and ourselves from 1997 to 2002, and finally Pete Sinclair in 2004. Through various ups and downs, it was determined that BotCon 2004 to be the last BotCon. For those that weren't there, I put together a retrospective video set to music called Requiem, which was shown at the final panel. The last text on the video read something like this: "Thanks for the love, thanks for the laugh, thanks for the tears. BotCon 1994 to 2002 and 2004. Thanks for the memories. The end," and then a question mark. As one might expect, the question mark was met with applause through tears. The truth was that no one really knew what the future held for BotCon. I wanted to give the fans a little bit of hope. To quote another staple from 1994, "Hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things, and no good thing ever dies." As it turns out, Brian Savage and Fun Publications took over the reins for BotCon from 2005 to 2016. During that time, the concept of how BotCon operated was expanded greatly, the toy offerings were increased, and the guests from every era of the franchise were plentiful. The size and scope of the convention grew to proportions that John and I could never have imagined. Perhaps the most important aspect of the convention, even from its earliest days, was its ability to draw people together who have the same interest in this toy line. Newcomers to the convention were invited into conversations by old timers, in quotes. There was no sense of belonging for many that attended, which went past the toys. There was a sense of belonging for many that attended, which went past the toys, excuse me. People got to know each other on a personal level. Those people who saw each other every year got used to seeing each other every year. It was like a big family reunion. I've always felt that way. I saw people who were at some of the early BotCons grow from somewhat awkward late teenagers and early 20-somethings. I was definitely a member of that group. To confident adults, some of whom with families who brought their own children to BotCon. The second generation had begun to enjoy what their parents had introduced them to.
Aww.
So when word got, yeah, so man, there were a lot of, I'm sure there were a lot of like 40-year-old tears right there. I know I definitely kind of choked up myself.
You could definitely fill a shot glass.
At
the very least.
At the very least. So a BotCon 2016 shot glass found at the Transformers Collectors Club store. So when word got around BotCon 2016 confirming what had been known in smaller circles for months prior, that it was going to be the last BotCon, the mood for the convention for many of us old timers turned it very retrospective and quite sad. I'll never forget speaking to David Kay at the evening Judd Nelson event that year. I simply went up to him and thanked him for his support over the years. He was one of the first major guests who attended in 1997, and he was back in 2016, almost 20 years later. I asked him if he had heard that this was the last convention. He turned to me with a serious look and said that he had heard about that, and he thought it was some sort of awful joke. BotCon couldn't be ending. I told him that it was true. He just shook his head. Sunday came, and at the end of the convention was a traditional organizers panel. This year was different. Many people assembled for what they knew to be the last time. It felt like equal parts retrospective, celebration, and wake. Several spoke about what BotCon meant to them. It meant so much more to so many of them than the toys, the cartoons, the fictions, and the guests. It was about the people. It became an entity unto itself, an annual family reunion that, for reasons that no one understood, had to end. Very raw in that panel. Lots of tears were shed. Saying goodbye to BotCon was one of the hardest things that we've had to do because of all the memories that were made there and all the friends that were met for the first time there. BotCon was going to end, only to exist in pictures in our hearts and minds and memories. It was ... the end. And then a long space and then a question mark. The question mark meant hope. It means hope. Remember, hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things, and no good thing ever dies. It just takes a 5-year break. As it turns out, Simon Furman was right after all these years. It never ends. The story of BotCon is not over. It just has a new chapter. On behalf of myself, Carl Hartman, Brett Lovell, Brett Lovell,
Kiss my butt.
Brett Lovell, Andrew Hall, and the rest of the
It's like
BotCon
shovel,
Productions crew.
with an L.
And the rest of the BotCon Productions crew, I'm honored and humbled to announce BotCon 2021, which is what we got here. And that was a damn moving post. I know. I guess to tell on myself, I saw the website the night before, and the link getting there was hilarious. I'm not gonna say what it was, but it was hilarious. And so I got to have that little sneak peek, and just the way everything loaded up, the vintage logo first, the next logo, and then the Fun Pub logo, and then finally this new logo that we're seeing now. It was goosebumps, man. And the archives on the website, there's a convention archives section that you can go to and view pictures from the 90s and from 94 to 04 and from 05 to 16. It's not as many as the old archives, but I feel like it definitely represents each era. And it's so cool to see in the 94 to 04 era, all of the like the Beast Wars display. Like there was a big Beast Wars Neo display there, which I never knew that they brought Neo toys to display at BotCon.
That's awesome.
The Transmetals.
You're not a real fan then.
I'm not. No, you're not. You're right. Prototypes from '96 with the Gorilla Pretender shell and the race, the G2, the racing rig, and just some other like off the wall, like gray prototypes and things like that. Just it's really cool. Those 90s pictures. Fortunately, I backed up all of the 2005 to 2016 era stuff. So, just in case that ever got lost.
TM2 Dinobot calling you out in the chat.
Let's see.
He says, me thinks you may be a bit too invested if that's all it took to give you goosebumps.
I always loved attending BotCons. I don't feel like that's a secret. If you followed any of my channel, followed me at any point, you would know that I've always been a big fan of that show. Since
Kyle
I attended.
Go ahead.
Since I attended and just being able to go to it, there was no other convention experience like it, like hands down, bar none. So,
Brother Kyle says, where's it gonna be, or didn't they say yet? And I would say it says right there, summer 2021. That means the future. Duh.
That's not where. That's when.
Sorry, I'm flexing my Dalton.
Oof.
Oh, try flexing harder next time.
So, with all of that wordiness, I want to congratulate you, Brett. This is, in my opinion, this is really awesome. This is huge.
Yeah, congrats, Dad.
Yeah.
This is.
Thank you, Dad. You're a dad too now. So. I can say that.
Oh, no wonder all of Tyler's jokes are falling flat. They're dad jokes now.
Oh, come on.
They would have had so much fire a week ago.
I'm actually going to come to Tyler's defense on this. Bull crap. No, they're good jokes. They're good jokes.
Brett's like, I've been cutting up all
got to
night.
stick together.
Hell yeah.
Two dads dadding it up.
That's right.
Oh, it's so lame. It's all good.
But yeah, man, like definitely congrats to you, congrats to Carl, and anyone who doesn't know who Andrew Hall is, just give him a Google. That dude's resume in and of itself is insanely impressive. He did a lot of work for translating stuff. He did the Solar Requiem and the Badlands comics for those releases, and he's just a really talented dude, super knowledgeable too. So
wasn't he known as Hydra at one point?
He still is known as Hydra.
He still is.
No, I don't know if he still went by the screen name or not. So
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yep. He the second tallest Transformers fan.
Second tallest, probably third skinniest.
Probably so.
that includes the ladies. So I mean, yeah.
So,
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, congrats.
I'm Brett. Why didn't you tell me sooner? You know,
I would go with a need to know basis. I could say that, or I could say that it was all in the works. So I'll go with the latter. I'll say it's all in the works, and I just didn't want to say anything that wasn't, 100% we knew. How's that? Is that
okay?
Politically correct?
You just we knew. That was it. Just we knew. Because this happened out of nowhere.
Hey guys, real quick, what the fuck? I got Marcus right here with me. If you want to see the little adorable thumb that is my son,
We'll pop him up there. There you go.
Aw.
He
He's upset.
he definitely gets his looks from her.
Yeah, all that.
That's a good thing.
The tiny little nose.
I know. It's adorable. It's very, very cranky all the time. I hear that's a common thing for babies.
Yeah, so when's he gonna get his Beast Wars tattoo?
5.
Oh, good enough. I get that. Responsible. Definitely responsible on that. So very good.
Oh, Marcus.
10 days old today.
My
Wow.
goodness.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, look at that.
He's just now discovering G1, so I gotta get him away.
Listen, he was giving Dalton notes. Come on. Come on. Great.
Oh, you're an asshole, Britt. That's why we love you.
Of course.
Yeah. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Thanks to everyone who congratulated me, especially like the Stasis Lock page. Everyone, even Blackout and Shout gave me and Becca a shout out on their most
and those guys
recent
hate
show,
us.
So
I'm going to try. I am going to try and find a G1 themed onesie for you.
I will report you to the Terrorist Association.
Tyler just reports any packages coming from where Brett lives, just with Brett's name on it. Just like, yeah, this is suspected terrorist activity.
The funny part is
an act of terrorism.
Now listen, the funny part is I could do that same order, just change the size and send it to Dalton. That'd be okay also. So he'd be all right with a onesie, wouldn't you?
No. I'll pass on that.
Well, no, we were sending him a blanket.
Come on
remember?
now. What's that?
He was getting a blanket. Remember?
A snuggle blanket?
Oh, Snuggie.
A Snuggie. Yeah.
Make it Gundam, then we'll talk. It'll go good to run.
White people 101.
Hey, come on, man. Who doesn't like a nice little blanket to snuggle to? Come on. Everyone does.
My cat would probably use it more than I would.
Don't hate. Dalton's just a little more sticky, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nasty.
Yes. Tyler, you're such a dad now. Yes, you are.
Yes. I was muted and I didn't know it, but I was gonna say I don't like cuddling with a blanket. I sleep on a concrete slab like the toxic person that I am. So
Whatever. I got proof you sleep in the bed.
Do you use cinder blocks as pillows then?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Mike really does. Mike's got.
I'd be willing to bet that you guys walk into the room and Dakota's like, bed's mine. Called it.
I guarantee you, Josh framed that picture of me. It was so hot in Arkansas, man. Like, it was.
I don't like how this is going.
It was just me and my undies, just trying to.
I called it. I told you.
You just whenever you're sharing a room with Dakota, always have your phone ready when you walk in the room. You never know what you're gonna find.
Be some real gold up in there.
Shrinkage. So,
needless to say, I'm extremely excited about BotCon. I have several great memories from my early to mid 20s at the convention. itself. So I kind of want to run down. Brett, obviously you're excited about it,
Right?
But Candace, you went to a few BotCons in your day too, as well, if I recall.
I think 2 of them, unless you count the OTFCC as one.
Absolutely, I counted.
Okay, 3.
That's just a continuation. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, are you excited to go back to BotCon?
I am actually. I want to see how it goes. I think it could be really good. So I'm excited.
Well, we got a guy that's not going to tell us anything. Just
Yeah,
always
thanks,
in our chats.
Thank you.
Dalton, you're not going to say anything? Come on. Say something.
I thought she was talking to me.
I think she was.
Stop talking
Not even that much.
Dalton, I mean, you went to 2 of the BotCons with us, and you've made all the Robocon. So
I'm sorry, I'm a little late here, but Rodney in the chat called it a wanky blanky.
Oh my god!
Jesus.
Oh,
Wow.
He says, "How else do you think I get my dick so shiny?"
well, you know.
Oh my god!
Wow. Oh wow, Tyler, you trash.
You never know what's going to be discussed on our show.
I'm definitely having my own room.
And you're definitely in the wrong conversation right now, but that's okay.
The opinions expressed on Stasis Lock do not at all reflect the opinions of BotCon Productions.
That's correct. Even though one of the people on the show did that, but that's just not the point.
I'm just trying to lawyer up for you, man. That's all.
Please keep going.
I'll bill you.
Brotha Kyle has a point there.
I'll
Dalton,
take 3 lawyer fees.
Yeah. Brother Kyle says the Philadelphia Convention Center is a great and convenient place for me for a con.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, dude, here it goes.
Yeah, but then we have to deal with all the Eagles fans.
It's
Oh, my son's an Eagle
Go
fan.
Eagles.
Oh my god.
Go Birds. Dude,
Go Birds.
What did I tell you would happen? I knew it. I knew it.
Before the show, it was just gonna be like, oh man, it's gonna be people are gonna start asking for like location and what's gonna be good, what's gonna be this, what's gonna be that, and I was like, yeah, dude, and like sure enough, like it's the 2010s all over again. Man,
It's all good. It's all good. I want that. I want that. Bring
Guys,
it.
it's one person. Hold on, rein it in. It's one person.
Not just here, but elsewhere, but I commented on the post on the post on the Facebook page. I was like, man, y'all need to bring it down here to Biloxi, Mississippi.
You got that there gumbo, right?
Y'all got some of them shrimping boats and crawdads too, yeah?
Yeah. Can I meet that guy Forrest? Come on now.
Yo, did you see the meme that I shared earlier in the chat? Oh, dude, it was Jenny waving bye to Forrest.
I did see that. I did see that. Yep.
See you, Forrest. I'll come back later when you're a shrimping billionaire and I have
a
child.
Yeah, I saw that. That's wrong.
Oh man. That's how you knock out about an hour and a half of that Forrest Gump movie.
I get that, but what you're trying to say is that Forrest has AIDS now. I mean, come on, that's not right.
Dude, Kabar said might spot Kincaid. But I mean, you know, he
I get it.
He may not be a very smart man, but he knows what love is.
Well, and he's got AIDS now. I mean, so that's not right.
Now he knows what love aids are. Dalton, how you feeling about BotCon?
I'm really excited for it. Like the first 2 that I went to, or the only 2 that I went to, were just an absolute fun time. It was probably the best couple of conventions I've been to.
Cool. So you're just gonna kick Robocon to the curb like that?
No.
I'm
I love it.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, digging in deep.
I'm okay with this.
He'll actually go to one that takes payment plans.
Shut up.
Oh my
Shut
God.
up.
Mike, what about you, man?
Well, I went to 7 of them.
7. Oh.
Yep.
Oh, so you're ready to pick that back up then, huh?
Yeah, I guess.
Is Sarah ready for you to pick it back up?
The hell to the no.
Oh, dude. As soon as tell the story about the Robocon registration.
Oh shit.
Who's doing dishes?
Who do you think?
Who else?
Kitchen noises.
So here's how it went.
Doing dishes don't
Was that registration went up for Robocon, and so I didn't have enough money in my PayPal account. So I asked Sarah, "Can I use one of my credit cards?" And she gave me a hard time, but then she finally let me have the credit card, and I registered it. Bullshit you not. I got 10 minutes down the road, and I sold something on eBay for over $200. And so the money comes in, and I'm thinking, hey, all right, I got some money in PayPal. And Dakota's like, no, man, Sarah going to hit your ass up for that money. Later on that night, all I kept getting text messages that said credit card. And I'm like, what? She was like, you need to pay that credit card. I'm like, son of a bitch. So I've already that money's already gone. I already transferred it back over. So
I really want to touch on something TM2DB just said here. I'll kind of lead into it. Basically, TM2DB said I've been to 3 BotCons and the best, but also the smallest was 2016. Hopefully you don't mind me reading. I mean, it's in the chat, so I guess you don't mind. I don't actually have any like real life friends. Don't know anyone in real life. Candace is literally the only person here I actually know. That really changes your perspective, and that's interesting. Like that's a very interesting take. And I relate to that one from my first BotCon, which was 2012 in Dallas, because I went there not knowing anyone. I didn't know any screen names online. I posted occasionally, but I just didn't. I ran into and I bumped elbows with a few people there, and I found just a small group of a couple of dudes, and we hung out, and it was still it was such an opening experience. I don't think, I never personally, just with other attendees and whatnot, I never ran into anyone that was not welcoming at BotCon. We're all there for the same reason, right? But I mean, that being said, like if you come to this one, like we obviously all know you, TM2DB. Like I would say it's a pretty safe bet to say everyone here is going to be there, at least this far out for sure. And we would definitely love to hang out with all of you. We've been trying to get people to come to Robocon. I would love to hang out with everyone that's in the chat. I'd love to see them in Louisville this June, and like that. I mean, that's just kind of where it starts. You know what I mean? And then it gets more and more, and it gets better and better, and it's really awesome. He goes on to what's up?
I was going to say 2 quick things real quick. I was reading his other post. He says, I'm sure if you have friends you get to hang out with and go to the show with, it is much more enjoyable. But for me, collecting has always been a solo experience for me my entire life. I actually wanted to say something on that because Dakota just said something about the other one. When I went to my first BotCon in 2010, the only person that I knew was my wife. And she went one BotCon and never again did she go again. Because 1, the food made her sick. 2, she did not like sitting in a panel for 3 hours. And from that first BotCon, from 2010 to 2011, I had met so many new people and, became friends with them. So I can say I kind of went solo besides my wife going, but I mean, going and not having no expectations whatsoever of what I could really, what to expect as far as meeting people, getting to know people. And, I have met a number of friends through the first year of BotCon. I think actually Brett's probably the one I've had the longest relationship with, because that's where I first met him.
Aww.
There was Brett, there was Keith. Unfortunately, there was Jim.
Oh my God! He put that man on blast.
Oh, I just
And then,
I actually just got done saying, texting that I have to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back, but I'm glad I stayed for that. Yes. Yes.
But what's really funny is like Rick is watching the show. You know, I know there's actually a picture I got to show Brett where Rick is in the background and his wife is standing behind him, and the look on her face is priceless because she's like, I can't believe he drugged me here for all these fucking nerds.
God, yeah.
Did they upload? Is that one that they sent? I can't remember if that was one.
No,
that they sent.
it's not. But I will.
Okay, I've got it.
So
I've got it.
Real quick, Mike, because you said that. Think about that, and all the times my wife has had to deal with all these nerds
Brett,
with the show.
Brett's gonna pee his pants. He's gonna pee his pants.
I am. I really got to pee, but it just kills me. I mean, Mike, you know this. I mean, she's so sweet, but
she is.
And she's like, I like this stuff. I'm like, really? You like hanging out with these nerds? And she's like, well,
maybe.
Let me tell you what, Rick's wife is a fucking trooper. He will plant her ass first in line, and she'll hold a spot for every motherfucker who comes up.
And then she's like, get your ass back, get back.
She will fight a motherfucker.
And nobody's gonna combat her. Like it's not, dude. She
no one's gonna fuck with that woman. But the other thing, the way I really met Rick and his wife was BotCon 2012. It was Dallas, and she went to go sit down on the floor, and she was pregnant. And when she sat down, I guess she put her back against the wall too hard, and the pitcher fell off and smacked her in the head.
Oh, wow.
Now, the following year, we were in matter of fact, it was in your room, Brett. I was watching the door, and Rick,
insurance claim.
Rick and his wife come in there, and I said, "Hey, look. It's the chick that got hit in the head with the painting last year."
I was about to say, man, like company's been live for 2 days. Insurance claim coming from Shatterglass Jazz.
Another quick thing. When you were talking about my wife and the credit card, she was yelling in the kitchen. She goes, "No, tell them the truth now. Don't lie." What happened was I had so much money in there. I transferred about half the money because I was going to buy that Grand Max that I wanted to get.
Yeah,
I was telling you about. So I transferred half the money, and she came in there. She goes, "Well, when are you going to transfer the rest of the money in?" And I'm like, "When I sell something else or something I want to buy, it's like $300." She was like, "No, you just sold something else. You need to go pay me the rest of the money." So last night I had transfer. She stays on top of my credit cards.
To kind of circle back around, just real quick, to circle back around to TM2DB, like definitely show up, like 100%. Like I mean, I know that first outing, it's like you don't know, and then you get there and it's a bunch of strangers, and it's always like, to be fair, like we don't have a face to put to the name for you, but like by all means, come hang out. Like we always do shenanigans. We always hang out. We're always hanging out into the wee hours. It doesn't matter if it's Robocon, if it's BotCon. It's always so very social. And Kabar even mentioned in the comments, I met quite a few people from the realm at TFCon last year. I'll admit it was a little awkward at first, but it got better. One thing you got to realize is we all have Transformers in common. And that alone is enough to spark up plenty of conversations. And I mean, it really is, just from talking about Transformers, talking about figures, your hauls, like, just cracking jokes, just hanging out. Like it really is.
And to that effect too, I think you should read off what Roger said as well. The collecting is very solo.
I missed it. Hang on.
He says collecting is very solo for me here in New Zealand because we don't have any Transformers conventions, and what Transformers fans are here in New Zealand are very widespread across the country. That's why I reached out to the Stasis Lock guys, because I could talk with like-minded people. And like that's something that's so like prevalent about the internet, man. It's like we can connect from all across the world now, and you know what I mean? Like I know you're saying you don't have friends to go with at cons, but like I've never met a single one of you guys, and like I feel like we're all really good friends, and when we meet up, it's just gonna click just like that, right? And I think that's really important to have your relationships online, so that when you go to these cons, you know what I mean? Like down about when you show up, like come up to us. You know, we're gonna know who you are, and it's gonna be, you know what I mean? It's gonna be chemistry between us because we've had these interactions online.
He's right. He's absolutely right.
My first BotCon was 2001, and so I was in high school. So my brother, I found out about BotCon through a friend on America Online Instant Messaging.
Whoa!
And, he was like, you know, there's a convention that you can meet the voice actors, and like, holy shit, no way. And so my brother and I are basically begging my mom, who used to go to Star Trek conventions a long time ago, so she's pretty much an expert on this stuff. And she's all right, we'll drive down to North Carolina. And,
nonchalant.
It was quite a drive. And so my brother and her mom had just passed away. So then I was like, oh God, are we gonna go or are we gonna not go because funeral stuff and whatever? But my mom was a real sport about it. So we drove down there. And we were only there for like half the Saturday, and we had no idea what we were doing, except my mom. She's like, okay, so at the panel, guys, get in the panel early so you can sit up front. And we didn't know there were like rules of, depending on what you bought for your tickets or whatever, that you could sit in the front or whatever. But nobody yelled at us, and we're sitting right there in the front. And my mom said, okay, so you want to get in line for the autographs early? You got to leave the panel early. And I'm thinking, hell no, I got freaking Gary Chalk and Scott McNeil right here in front of me, and they're doing awesome impersonations and stuff, and it's awesome. But I did anyway. And I scooted out. She was right. You get in line. It's like, I'll save a spot for you. Oh my God, Mom. And that was how we got that photo with the one guy. I think he was from New Jersey, and a super nice guy. And then
Wait,
Gary
did you
and
say
Scott.
Your mom left you there so she could get in line for you.
What you're saying?
Did you say your mom left you there so she could go and get in the autograph line for you?
I think that's what happened.
Shit, you can't do that shit nowadays.
I know.
Some kid ransom for an Omega Supreme.
I know. This was so long ago.
I was gonna say. So you're saying abandon your kids at a convention?
Come on, we were like 18, 19, something like that. We weren't that young.
It's okay, Marcus. I won't trade you for anything less than a taco tank.
Less than a taco tank. Less than a taco tank.
Oh my God.
I had my brother and my mom to lean on, so I didn't really meet any friends. I mean, I remember seeing Dan Cannon was there selling his art.
I bet that was killer, wasn't it?
We were mostly there, yeah. We were mostly there for the guests and to meet these guys from G1 and Beast Wars who just made our childhood. So I don't know. Oh,
it's awesome. Like it is. It really is an awesome experience. Like 2012, you know, David and Gary were there, and
yes,
you know, so for that being my first BotCon and to literally meet my Well, again, we didn't know. Like we didn't know.
I know.
But to meet my two, like essentially my childhood hero and my childhood villain,
yes.
To see them there, take a leak next to them, you know, like that's real, like that really happened. You know,
have one bomb a light off of you.
I'm just nervously holding my wiener.
That actually happened also, but okay.
Yeah, Gary bummed a light off of me, man. It was just awesome, you know. So definitely, like,
you say you were holding your wiener.
Yeah, I said I was awkwardly holding it. Yes, because you know I was.
Did he bum a light off of you here as well?
Oh yeah. Oh, I contributed to Gary's habit that he may or may not have kicked.
I knew it
during Arkansas Comic Con. It was dude, something about like the guests that you bring to your shows, Mike. Like the year before that was Steve Cardenas, the Red Ranger from the Ooze movie, the Power Rangers Ooze movie, and like he wanted us to like sneak around to the back of the convention to smoke cigarettes like we were in high school. And I mean, we did. I'm not gonna turn that down either.
We did that, yeah.
So, but it was it's killer TM2DB.
Yes,
definitely. Like we, you know, and we know you. At least I know you by your first name. Like even if you just walked up and said, "Hey, and I don't want to put your business out there."
Don't do that.
Where's
I'm sure I would know. I think I don't want to put the information out there. It's close. It's close by me. Close by us. I don't know how close. Yeah, I don't know how close, but it's.
He needs to come up with Saturdays on. Get your feet going.
Yeah, TN2DB. If you're like within driving distance and reasonable driving distance, it's literally just us meeting up and having lunch to Texarkana, Texas. By all means, like we'll let you know where the place we're stopping at. I don't know if that's within like a short notice, whatever, but definitely like it's. But that's that BotCon spirit. So, now. Brett, what are you looking forward to here, man?
Oh crap.
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah. I would love to see a lot of money and prosperity for everyone. I mean, what are we talking here?
What do you expect? Do you expect to go completely bankrupt, or what's the plan here?
Jesus.
Balls to the wall? I mean, what?
So
is that the question we're supposed to be asking?
Brett can always drop the famous words.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
I get it.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
I really
do not say we're just as frustrated as you are. I don't want to fucking hear that no more.
All right. How about this? Let me first start off by something we had talked about before about being someone looking forward to the show, waiting for the reveals. And Mike and myself, we would always try and find that in that would get a little more information than most people would know, like what the custom class was, what the figures were, what the lineup was, blah 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 blah. We really like that. So I too like that, but from my point of view, I don't want that leaked, of course. So I'm going to go that I really want this to be, I'm going to go on record as saying I want this to be a more of a post-2000 BotCon than anything past that, if that makes any sense.
Perfect.
So you want, just so I'm understanding you right, you're wanting something like between 2001 and 2005?
No, I'm talking like 94 through 2000.
Okay, I got you. Pre-2000.
Okay. So I can't talk about what's going on in the background. I'm sorry, I can't do that.
Understandable.
There was some talk about, and I actually just got a text message. So I better read it real quick.
Watch what you say. Watch what you say.
Shut the fuck up.
This wouldn't.
I literally just got a text message right as I'm talking. They're like, dude. So,
this ain't my first rodeo being part of leaking BotCon info.
Right. So how about this? There's a little misinformation out there on everyone's roles in BC Productions, which is the company that holds the rights for BotCon. That is a company that has shareholders, and Pete Sinclair is a shareholder. I will go on record as saying not a majority shareholder. And I will go on record as saying I am the manager of that company. So,
geez, flexing the big dick over here.
Well,
yes, sir.
I know. I'm not trying to do that. What I'm trying to say is that Carl is very much involved in the process and what we're doing with the show. Now, if you think about that, Carl was most privy to everything going on before 2000.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's right there on the ground floor.
Right, that's what we're trying to do. My goal is to have a show that is affordable, that is that everyone can come to. I mean, we can't be everywhere, but as much as possible, and just everyone come together for what we love. We love Transformers. It's not even so much, and everyone tries to make this an all-encompassing robot convention, but ultimately, we all know that it's Transformers we love, and we want to bring everyone together for that. And that's what we're trying to do is bring that back. I mean, that's the gist of it.
Sweet.
Good. That's
Sweet.
I'm definitely, like I said, man, I'm definitely looking forward to definitely seeing more updates.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? You know how you handle this bullshit, this controversy going on with Pete?
Oh.
At BotCon, you set him up in a booth
Fuck.
that says, ask me anything, like louder with Crowder.
I really thought you were going to do the baseball to knock the guy into the water tank.
Oh my God.
And I was like, that would work too. I get that.
Do you think that would get rid of the animosity? Just
at least get rid of some frustration, but that's okay. One other thing I did want to mention is just remember that Pete's Robot Convention is a licensee of the company.
well, Night Shining.
Right, correct.
Yeah,
Night Shining did that, and they're doing the show. So basically, what I'm saying is that they're not. It's two separate shows. Okay, right now there's two separate shows. Now, I mean, if someone wants to come to us with another show, hey, we'll talk. We're okay with that. That's the whole idea. I mean, we want to make the whole idea is to make BotCon the encompassing idea for all the conventions that have to do with robots and Transformers and this, that, and the other. It doesn't mean that it has to be all one thing, if that makes any sense. So they're two separate shows.
Can I ask you a question about this?
If you speak up, because you're really.
Let me ask you a question. And this was asked to me by someone I know, and it was kind of well, I won't go into those, but the question is if BotCon is starting over, BC Productions, stuff of that nature. And I think you've answered it to me, but I guess for people who might ask this, why are you using a store with Night Shining? Is that part of the licensee agreement?
Well, first of all, we're not starting over. We're a continuation of BotCon that has been since '94. It's a continuation of the brand and of the family. That's how I look at it. It's a family. So why we only have one venue on our website is because that's the only one that came to us with product. We haven't had enough time to get product for our own, and no one else has come with us. I mean, of course, it's not been out in the open. So that's why.
I mean, yeah, you guys are still. Not to say you're new, because BotCon's been around since the
no,
early days. But I'm saying, like, you're
BC
kind of getting back on your feet
absolutely.
again, right? Yeah,
absolutely. Oh, 100%.
Time will tell what develops going forward. I imagine. Like, I was curious about the official status, because I know BotCon used to be officially like under the Hasbro umbrella or something, right? Like with the exclusives and the canon and the fiction and all that kind of stuff. And I don't imagine any of that's been worked out just yet, but I'm sure you guys are probably working on something like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, think about this. We got all this done less than 30 days ago. We're working as fast as we can. I know everyone says, "Well, you got a year and a half," but honestly, to get everything solidified before a convention, including picking the site, which before people say that, we haven't. I mean, it takes time. It takes time.
Can I suggest an idea
Stay tuned.
Custom figures or exclusives?
We'll take any ideas you can give us.
I've got two specifically.
You can email those to StasisLockPodcast@gmail.com.
Absolutely. But two of my ideas.
Dakota, why are you charging me for these ideas? I mean,
two of my ideas, Brett, are the HorrorCon Night Prowler Cheetor and the HorrorCon Transmetal Waspinator. Make those exclusives. Do it.
Remember, I told you my role in this, but I'm not the be all idea of this, but everyone knows.
Pass it on to whoever is.
But remember this. Remember this. I love Beast Wars. I really do. So
And 2021's an anniversary year.
So you guys got someone in the back pocket, at least on that. I mean, does that mean I'm going to be outvoted? Sure I can. So, but I do like that. I love that idea too. So
I want to just kind of, while we're on the topic of conversation, and we had mentioned like that Night Shining Inc. is a licensee. The registration, the links are in the description for the registration and the storefront. I only grabbed this one picture, but you can pre-register for Robocon 2020, which is going to have a pre-BotCon kind of party thing lined up. It's going to be essentially a 1 year out primer for BotCon 2021, and with that registration package, you get a BotCon lanyard, a retro BotCon 1994 T-shirt, and you also get this pretty cool little nugget right here.
Look at that.
BotCon Beyond the Convention Ultimate Product Guide. And you see this is the exclusive cover for Robocon, and it's featuring everyone's favorite beast character, Apelinq. My favorite. I mean, this I'm looking forward to. I love like the product guide books. I have a few of them. One kind of sucks. I'm not going to get into that. Some are awesome, but this one's going to be very well put together. And I know that because I am helping out with it. So,
and one thing I can say on these product guide books is that the creator behind it, can we say his name?
I don't know. I don't know what else public yet. So best not.
Now, just no.
Okay.
So, but
I hate to be that way, but I mean,
no, that's fine.
People need to understand that this is infancy stage, and we just kind of make sure we got everything going the way we want. We don't want any problems like that. So right now, this is the product that's out, and we'll just go with that. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, but cool nonetheless. So obviously, I love this. I love the kind of Beast Wars homage on the cover there. I think the cover looks great.
What do you mean homage? It's Apelinq.
Well, okay, fair enough. Allegedly,
the classic BotCon homage.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. It is. It's pretty cool. I'm definitely. I'm excited to get this. I put in my pre-registration already, and
I need to hurry to get mine done.
Yeah, you do. You don't want that book to
One of the things that I wanted to emphasize on this was people kept asking right after Monday. They get a lot of messages, this, that, and the other. But the focal point is while the past they did very well with the brand, regardless if you're on the plus or minus side of this, there were issues and mistakes. And our goal is to not make those mistakes again. So that's what we're trying to do. So just remember that it's a work in progress, but we are also learning from past mistakes of another company that's not ours. But we're trying to get the pulse of the collector like anyone would.
I see what you did there.
Without you like that. I have no affiliation with Pulse, by the way. Not yet. I'm
going to tell John Warden.
Shut up.
I knew it.
You keep saying those Dalton notes. My point being is that look at this as a fresh start from a new company with a directive that is more fan based because the people involved are more. I mean, we've been there. We've been in the trenches all the way up, waiting for those reveals, standing in line.
Remember the
line con. We all remember that. So
yes.
that's where we're coming from, and I hope people understand and appreciate that.
Definitely, and I mean, it's good. Definitely good that you pointed that out because I know I saw a lot of correlations like people speaking as if it was still Fun Publications, and it's definitely not Fun
No,
Publications.
100%. I mean, we have no affiliation with them whatsoever. And Big Bad Toy Swamp as a sponsor, that might happen. That could very well happen. Woo! So,
I'm getting the paperwork ready.
By the way,
we
we are in initial talks with that. By the way,
sending in my my licensing fee to put Big Bad Toy Swamp out there.
I'm sure you had pictures involved with that too.
You can reach him at Big Bad Toy Swamp at woo.com.
Leonardo asked which product, old or new. I would assume it's just the ultimate, the ultimate product guy. We haven't gotten really any specifics on it yet. But if you stay tuned to the Stasis Lock Facebook page, or even just the BotCon Facebook page, I'm sure that those details will come to light accordingly.
My last question is: will Stasis Lock have its own table at BotCon?
Pay for it.
Yeah,
give me money. No.
No, there we go.
It's your show, motherfucker.
I will say this much. If those involved in Stasis Lock from a northern country decide to come down, it might happen.
You never know.
So you can set up a booth with me, like Louder with Crowder. G1 is trash. Change my mind.
Oh no!
I really wasn't even talking about you. I was talking about your son. But that's okay.
If he's old enough, yeah.
Trust me. We'll bring him on. Boom. Do it.
That would be sweet.
But you know what? Cool beans there. And Bretta, thank you for dropping those little information bits, because honestly, I was not expecting any of it. I was just like, we're just gonna talk about Beast Wars and this new thing. And
didn't we actually have a topic?
We still do.
We actually do. So go.
All right. But
I'm
back
out.
on to it. This week's topic comes from our boy Dalton, right here on the show.
Hello.
He says, with Masterpiece Hound having such small.
Wait. Say it like he would say it.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, fuck you, Tyler.
with master.
God damn it! Shut up.
With Masterpiece Hound having such small and brittle pieces, and the fact that Amazon Japan even reduced the price of the figure down to half off, presumably due to so many breakages happening, should we be concerned about Lio Convoy?
You want trash?
He's just that's a good Tyler impression.
Hey, that's my word.
I want to go first. I want to say no, just because I don't. All the brittleness for Hound, I think, was just because they went with translucent plastic everywhere, and I don't think Lio Convoy is going to have any room for translucent plastic.
Or maybe it will.
Maybe it will, but I personally, I'm not worried with how much of a knockout the other ones have been. Me personally, I'm not too worried about it. If it goes down to half off, I'll absolutely pick up another. But I don't see that either, because they've all sold out on Amazon Japan really quick.
So, go ahead, Dalton. Go ahead.
Another concern that I've had, even with Bumblebee and Hound, is just the amount of paint that they're putting on these figures instead of just molding it in the plastic. It's gumming up some of those pin joints, those hinges. And with Lio Convoy going for that 2D animation style, that's where a little bit more of my concern comes from.
So, does anyone else want to go before me? Because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be long-winded as always.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have as much paint as Bumblebee and Hound, just because there's a lot of. I feel like it's going to be either a lot of white plastic, or it's going to be that digital print that was on MP32 and even MP38 and Cheetor. So, all right, I'm done. If anyone else wants to go,
Trash.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
I am not concerned.
All I want to go on record as saying is that when you have products that were designed a certain way and they get out into the market with these obvious flaws, I look at that as it just slipped by them, or they didn't do what they went with what the instructions said and didn't like stress them or pull them or whatever, which they need to kind of understand that could happen. So with that in mind, I think this was it was a bad mold.
Ooh, that motherfucker's spitting.
I think it was.
Well,
I mean, I don't know if it's how they made it with the pins they used or the plastic they used, but I see so many. It's not just one or two that are having an issue with this.
Almost widespread at this point.
It really is. Now, the ones that aren't having a problem are the ones that are reading it and being gentle. But I mean, it's a masterpiece. I get that, but it's still a toy. People are going to treat it as a toy, and if being treated as a toy it breaks, I think it fails.
Absolutely. I don't feel like you're wrong there. I know a lot of it comes from, when we get these instructions for these Japanese figures and we open them up, we're looking at the pictures. We can't, like us as an English reading speaking or even other language reading speaking, chances are we probably don't know Japanese. And there is, and there's a lot of releases that will have addendums, sent in, like packed in with the instructions. And I still honestly think that part of it is because of not being able to actually read the instructions aside from looking at them. And, the reviews that came out that showed like, okay, like don't bend it past this or do that or what. It's a shame that it does have to be like that, but my outlook on it is it is a masterpiece. It is a toy, yes, but it's also a $100 plus toy. And just because something's $100 doesn't mean it's indestructible. And I think this fandom, and I've even been guilty of doing it from time to time myself, views a higher price point, meaning essentially like not fragile. And that's not the case, and that shouldn't be the case. And Roger brings up a good point. If it was due to the clear plastic on Hound, then Flashlight Convoy could be brittle.
Yeah, but then they shouldn't have made it that way.
I agree. I think it does.
I'm sorry, I have an issue with it.
Yeah. I think from an engineering standpoint, like pieces that were translucent should not have been translucent.
No. So, and this has nothing to do with G1, Beast Wars, or anything. It talks about product, the transformation, the stress put on the joints, and the product, design and the design that they use. Absolutely.
Okay. So, in a sense, it kind of does have to do with the G1 versus Beast Wars, not in the traditional sense, but I believe, I don't have any concrete evidence of it, but I believe that there are two different design teams and engineering teams working on the two different lines, Beast Wars and G1. So I believe...
I don't know.
What I believe has happened is the design team for Beast Wars being completely separate, these type of issues will not affect the Beast Wars stuff. Like, it won't affect Lyle Convoy. I don't believe so.
If that's the case, yeah, I think I agree with that.
Well, I'm going to say that is... Unless you know 100% for sure that... Well, I'm trying to think. If you're saying 100% for sure you know they're two separate teams, I get that.
I said I don't know.
Exactly.
I'm speculating. I'm speculating that that's the case because we've had hardly any issues. Like, we've had the Megatron crotch piece thing, but even that wasn't widespread. That was kind of like a few pieces in the run.
Same with the Dinobot shoulders.
But
same with the Dinobot shoulders. And to be fair, a lot of the Dinobot shoulders were user error.
I know one was for sure.
Okay, from what I understand, each level is a separate team. So all of Masterpiece would be one team. All of Voyager or Deluxe or whatever you call it is one team. So I can
imagine that's how it used to be. But with the separation of different lines like Beast Wars, G1, Movie Masterpiece now, like I feel like they probably split up again.
It wasn't that way in Generations.
Yeah, but Generation typically that's a main line, and usually that is on a joint front, usually. And even then, like, to the degree of which that joint front is like we still don't know. Like Brett, you and I know, like a lot of the 2010 generations toys was pretty much from like a single former Hasbro employee,
right?
A good amount of them, not all of them, but a good amount of them. And like, so I know that usually the partnership there is Takara is Tomy. They use the Tomy factory, and sometimes Takara engineers and Hasbro engineers collaborate. Sometimes it's one or the other, but Masterpiece is solely on the Takara front. I get what Tyler's saying, and I would say that I agree with it. I would think they would put 3 different teams with 3 different styles, essentially, on each aspect of that Masterpiece line. And real quick, I just want to highlight Brother Kyle. He says it's a completely different design for the figure. I doubt Lio will have all those little bits and flaps and panel johns. He's gonna be a big ride sturdy lion. But anyways, go ahead.
Well, the one thing I was thinking of is not really wanting to go back to the past, but I will. We talk about the gold plastic syndrome, and it was a concept for certain items to have a gold plastic, and if they were in Japan, they were very brittle as the years went by. If you got it from the China company, which has to do with a distribution, a mating, they didn't have that. So it could be something like that as well. It has to do with the plastic that was used, how it was mixed in that specific region that could cause this. Now, right now, everything's coming through Korea, right?
Mainline is all being done in Vietnam, but I believe Masterpiece is still.
I'm sorry,
coming out of China.
I actually meant Vietnam. But yeah.
Mainline is, but I think Masterpiece is still. I think China is still the where Masterpiece is getting. But last I heard, it was the same factory as Hot Toys come out of in China.
So if you have one area, I think you'll have the same problems with the same product. Does that mean that they're going to do, Leo Convoy with clear plastic or not or whatever? But I'm telling you, I looked at the points and what it had to do with not so much of the plastic, it's how they put the pins in. I think they put the pins in hot, which made a tighter seal on the clear plastic, which is not as rigid, and that's what caused it. That's just me.
Okay, so that's one aspect of it. We're talking materials, and that's fine.
Just uncorrected. Josh Fisher says the recent MP boxes have shown made in Vietnam. So my bad.
Okay, yeah. But you're talking about materials, and that's fine. That's one aspect. But I'm thinking it's more to do with a design decision. Like the G1 Masterpiece seem to be going for the tune accuracy. I mean, not seem, they are. They're going for a tune accuracy, and to do that, to be able to flip back and forth between a tune vehicle and a tune bot that cleans up really nice, you have a lot more smaller and thinner panels that are more prone to breakage. Like I watched Bobby Skullface's video on the Hound just because I wanted to see what the transformation was like, because I heard about all these breakages, and I think he broke it in the video.
Oh, and like I was gonna say, if Bobby got through it without breaking it, then maybe it's not so bad, because But
well, yeah, no, he's super careful with his stuff, right? But like I watched that video, and like it's a mess. And he even says like it sucks because it looks good. Like objectively speaking, I know my thing is G1 is trash, but like objectively speaking, looking at that figure, it does look nice. It looks like it came right out of the cartoon.
Right.
But at what sacrifice?
If you can't exactly. If you can't transform it without it stressing or breaking or whatever, what good is it?
But that's why I'm saying
I agree.
It's a design issue more so than a materials issue. Materials may in fact play a part in it, but I think there's 2 different design teams, and I think the G1 design team is trying to be overcomplicated, seeing the success of maybe fans toys, because we already know that Hasbro and Takara are fully aware of the third-party plague as they probably look at it, right? And with Beast Wars, it's kind of like no one's really touched that, and if they have, it's been like in their own aesthetic, with the exception of JX, right? So I think with them being 2 different design teams, I don't think we have anything to worry about Lyle Convoy. because Takara's on the G1 side, they always have to step their game up to stay on top of the game when it comes to the third party market. Whereas Beast Wars, they're just flag bearing all by themselves. You know what I'm saying?
I get that, and that's a very logical, methodical way of thinking of it. But to be honest with you, I don't think they put as much thought into it as you just did.
I think they have to.
I'm telling you, I really don't think that. I think it's one team, and they're given a design, and they do it this way or that way. And I don't think it's a Beast Wars versus G1 aspect. It's more along the line of this is the design we've given it, and they pump it out. Well,
I want to interject here. And I'm kind of leaning with now I'm leaning with Brett on this. And the only reason I say that is because Beast Wars characters are still coming out falling under the Masterpiece banner, where Masterpiece movie is its own banner. It's its own deal.
Well,
but Beast Wars is still very much sharing the Masterpiece line.
Personally, I don't think it's different design teams. I think it's just individual designers that are different.
Correct.
Like
that. Yes.
Yeah.
Because
that's what I'm trying to say. And,
the only difference between your statement and mine employs more people than yours does.
Yeah, I get.
Well, Tyler creates jobs.
what I'm getting at is, what was the guy's name? Hasui, who did the Dotson brothers.
I couldn't tell you.
I know he did the Dotson brothers, and then he was like one of the lead designers for Devastator. So it's just, I guess, different individual designers. Like whoever designed Hound just fucked up.
I wonder if that's where and this is unrelated, the rumor of Devastator originally being planned as a Masterpiece release came from, is because he had his hands on it, regardless of what its original release intentions were. Ugly Fat, my boy Ugly Fat, man, I've been missing that name in this chat. God, I love that dude's screen name. He has speaking we're kind of talking about earlier. Is anyone in on the Toy Mage 01? And I had to ask him what it was. It's the KO MP Megatron with the English voice clips and the light up stuff in the dinosaur head.
I just want the dinosaur head.
Well, let me be honest. For a moment, shame me and shun me. If the dinosaur head did not light up and the eyes did not light up, and it was just the dinosaur head with
double back on his morals right now. You ready? I can taste it. I can taste it.
If it was a straight up KO with the English voice clips, for $100, your boy Primal Savage would have picked one up. It would have happened.
Oh my god!
Wow. Yeah,
wow.
but
you trash.
I am.
Listen, you better put that headline up right now. Scroll across. You trash.
I don't. But I don't like the fact that the eyes are like a translucent, plastic piece. I don't like the light up. I don't like the light up feature in that head, and that's what's keeping me away from it. In all honesty, that's what's doing it. But believe me, I was looking at it. I was looking at it pretty hard.
Unbelievable.
If they would just release the dino head without the light up eyes, I might have been on that.
Wow. Oh.
So
anyway, I agree.
Candace, you said you weren't worried. Mike, what about you? Okay,
I don't care one way or the other. I'm not getting it.
Oh, you're not getting it? Okay.
You're asking. Wait a minute. You're asking me if I'm worried about Masterpiece Hound having issues?
if you're worried about Lyle Convoy having issues because of how bad Hound was and how bad it was played.
Asking the guy that actually got asked to have my figure opened and looked at before they sent it to me, to which they found that it was stressed and actually cracked, to which I got a new one. Yeah, I'd be really worried about it, but I'm not getting Leo Convoy, so I'm okay with that.
I mean, y'all haters, man.
I wasn't
good.
hating. I was trying to do both sides of it. God
you know what,
it.
Brett? In 6 months, you can tell us all about how it works, anyways. So.
I can tell you that if it works like Hound, something's wrong.
6 months. 6 months from.
I'm just saying.
Audrey throwing bombs in the chat. I vote for Primal Sabbath impeachment. Make Stasis Lock great again. Let's
we had the.
you would have never said some stupid shit about buying KOs.
we had the Primal Sabbath impeachment 2 weeks ago. So
Jesus,
you're gonna have to check that out.
Rodri Pelosi in the chat.
Oh God! Is he gonna print out the transcript of this and just tear it up?
Oh, Jesus! I see. I didn't catch any of that till this morning, but I was like, golly, kind of, you know. All right. Anybody else have anything they wanted to add to that before we move on to Brother Kyle's question? Brother Kyle's like, golly, man, finally took him an hour, 2 hours to get to my question.
That motherfucker just went to bed.
Going back to his Animorphs.
Brother Kyle dozed off real fast. He was like, I'm gonna listen to Animorphs. Screw these guys.
That is not correct, Brett. Take it down right now.
That'll work.
Brett, never mind. I'm not gonna go there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Brother Kyle asked question. And I think this more or less relates to last week when we covered the Beast Wars movie news. The show Beast Wars as a show had a perfectly good reason for why they had to assume a beast form. If in fact they do end up making a movie, how would they explain the reason for beast mode? I'm assuming that it would take place in modern times, as I doubt they would go the prehistoric no humans route. Anybody have an answer right now for it?
Well, who's to say that the Energon wouldn't be as powerful now as it would be back then?
Literally all of the other Transformers movies.
There you go. There you go.
Well, according to those movies, the Energon was just sunlight.
Shut up, Dalton.
Oh my God! Wow, Dalton, that was the wow.
In order to accurately answer this, I think we have to first ask ourselves: do we really think they're going to pay that close of attention to the source material?
No. But go ahead.
I do, but I don't. I mean, obviously they have to have a means for them to transform. Like that gimmick has to be incorporated in some way. I don't see them being in robot mode all the time, and the show really did write a really good way to, have them
Actually, we talked about that, and we said it wouldn't go that way because they get in robot mode, and that's why it did it.
Because sometimes when you're writing a story, and I know a thing or two about writing stories.
I think or two about a thing or two.
I tell you a thing or two. Yeah. Wow.
I would think maybe they would have them be like, I don't know. I really don't. Other than it's hard. It's hard like conceptualizing that unless they're like in a jungle village setting and not necessarily in downtown Chicago, or anything like that. Like all the other trains, I wouldn't see why there would be a big cityscape. So I would think for them to traverse the terrains of the wild, that would be enough of a reason to have the explanation for the beast modes. Because, I mean, obviously the Autobots and Decepticons took the forms that they took because it was convenient to the terrain, it was convenient to their surrounding, especially for blending aspects. And I think those play more into it than necessarily Energon overload. So in modern times, I think we would see takes place, in the Amazon or in the Safari, you know what I mean?
The Sahara.
So, maybe not quite the Sahara, but
or a goddamn zoo.
Or that.
Not even kidding. Think
Shout
about
out
it.
to Shattered Glass Mike.
They shot my boy Harambe in a zoo in what, San Francisco or some shit?
Cincinnati.
America killed Harambe. He didn't die in the jungle.
The only thing I could think of having a beast mode for this would, I don't know, just give them different abilities that cars and trucks can't do, or whatever. But then they also
Give them armor lock. Fine, thank you, Dalton. I'm happy someone got that reference.
Jesus.
Sorry, continue, Candace. That's
oh no, that was pretty much it. I didn't know what else to say to that. It's all good.
So you think it would be definitely like more just terrain based?
I don't know. It doesn't have to be. I don't know.
And
it doesn't have to be terrain based, but just that they can do things in their alternate modes that you can't with a truck or a car or whatever. You know?
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Stronger strengths here and weaknesses here, and I don't know.
Like actually scaling, like they could scale a building in alt mode and in robot mode, but do it quicker. You know, like I could think like Optimus Primal as a gorilla being able to climb quicker in his beast mode than he could in his robot mode.
Right.
You know, or Cheetor just being able to, you know, get off of a highway or a road or whatever just by running and jumping, something that a car can't do, like you said. That's an interesting take.
I mean, let's be honest. It's going to be a live action movie. Why do they need to have a reason to assume a certain mode? Continuity is always thrown out with each movie.
Because Marvel does it and they tell good stories.
In the comics.
I mean, that's because Marvel's written and directed well.
Ooh,
I mean, there's nothing to say that a Beast Wars movie couldn't be written and directed well. But to be honest, like I wasn't here for the discussion, but I think you guys echoed my sentiments. Like, I don't care if it's written well. Like, I want to see the King Kong scene where he fights those two dinosaurs. You know what I mean? But where they transform and shoot at each other. Like, I want to see.
TM2DB real quick just said Beast Wars will be like the Rock movie. Yeah, I think he's talking about Rampage, which was based off of the coolest PlayStation video game ever.
Actually,
entirely possible.
Actually,
look, my millennial ass played it on a PlayStation, so I don't know. What to tell
I played it with quarters at the bowling alley.
I played it for the low cost of a birthday present.
Are you talking about Primal Rage, really?
I think it's Rampage. With the ones with the
Rampage.
where they busted up the
cityscape,
up all the buildings and.
Oh, never mind.
I feel like he didn't get that name right on purpose because like he used proper punctuation and everything.
Yeah,
he knew it was called Rampage.
But I think Primal Rage is the name of a video game too. So like,
it is. It's an awesome game too.
Ooh, Kabar hit you with that okay boomer, Mike. We're gonna be at the buffet and Mike's gonna be like, you know what? I remember when they used to put fried chicken on the Chinese buffet. I'm gonna say, you know what? Okay, boomer.
That's also an interesting idea. He says TM2DB says, or go the other direction instead of having them small, make them big. Go Godzilla scale.
Oh, God.
I'm in. I'm down. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. If you treat Beast Wars like some godlike figures stomping all over Optimus Prime's ass and he's saying those iconic lines like Autobots transform and Sam, no. Like, I'm down.
It's the iconic line, Sam, no. Oh, man.
Give me your face.
Yeah. Fair enough. Mike, what about you, man?
Beast Wars Kaiju.
Just don't land in China. Don't land in China and get that Cornell virus. That's all I gotta say.
That Cornell virus.
Oh my god.
Cornell virus. Oh my god.
COVID, whatever it is, you know. It's an okay boomer moment. Leave me the fuck alone.
Coronavirus?
Coronavirus, that's it.
Mike said, don't get the Wu-Tang virus. It ain't nothing to fuck with.
Stay away from that shit. It'll kill you.
Alternatively, I think a question that could be asked about this new movie possibly is what characters would you want to see featured in it? I mean, everyone's going to say they want the original cast because of the TV show and whatever, but like I think this is a really good moment if they're doing a movie to feature some lesser known characters and really give them the spotlight.
Razor Beast.
I want Dinobot, and I don't care who else.
Never gonna happen.
I think a brand new team would be cool, or even like
Dinobot,
you know, like Cyber Shark, K9, Polar
Dinobot.
Claw, Dinobot. Sure.
Jawbreaker.
Oh, I love Jawbreaker. I love Jawbreaker.
Maybe have
maybe not.
Jawbreakers like some.
Oh, what do you mean maybe
Experiment.
not? What do you mean maybe not? Call him Cackle. Call him by his English name. Call him Cackle.
Oh, Kabar. Ouch.
And like, just give them the personalities like of their beast. Like I've always imagined Jawbreaker as like laughing like a little Weasley hyena, you know,
Give me a rap.
cracking jokes, you know.
Yeah.
Rodri said Bantor.
Give us Fusel.
Leonardo
That's
said
a Micah
Ramulet,
throwback.
Snapper, and Tripreticus. Ugly Fat said Stampy, dude.
Yeah, let's be honest.
I found my
Bantor.
Stampy.
Listen, Bantor sucked, but when you transformed him into a robot, it was a nice, clean.
Yeah, so did Micah's wife.
Yep.
Bam!
Damn.
I got nothing. I'm done. All right.
I want all Transmetal 2s.
I want no Transmetal too.
I want nothing
one
but
only.
Transmetal 2s. 100% Transmetal 2s.
Oh my
I
god!
mean, we
whole
forget
movie.
just the elephant in the room where he said Micah's wife. I mean, god damn.
I had nothing. So, man.
Wow.
You know, I just don't want to dig up any bodies, so to speak.
As
and
Chris
on that
would
Dalton
say,
note,
as Chris
Hey.
would say, I can hear the
Oh.
yarn stretching from point to point.
Oh man.
I don't give a fuck. He'll just passive aggressively message me in the next couple of days.
you still talk to him?
Brother Kyle, no, I don't still talk to him.
No, none of us do.
Dude apologized 4 times in a row and then blocked me. Like, whatever.
How do you,
All of us blocked all of us.
how do you get a passive regressive text? How does that work?
What?
It's like,
what?
I'm sorry, but I'm not.
Psychopathy.
Yeah, I'm sorry I did this, but I'm not.
Brother Kyle says, well, I mean, there's a difference between not being written well and just not having an explanation for the whole point on their existence as beasts. And I think to explain them being beasts, like you could go the prehistoric route, like the original show did. But I do think it would be interesting because, like, look, facing facts, if it's not like an animated movie, you're going to need that human element still. Maybe a little less because it's beasts and you can kind of relate it with, like, you know, your pets. You know, if you had K9, that's a pet and he transforms into a robot. You know, it's a little more relatable because you look at your dog and you want him to transform or some shit. I feel like I'm going on some like TJ Omega type shit right now. Let me dial back.
Sounds like it.
Oh,
But like,
I was
I don't
gonna say
know,
I want to touch on TM2DB's comment real quick. In MASH as a teenager, my sister thought they called him Jawbreaker because he was a dentist, and she couldn't understand why the guys were picking on another guy in the shower. Oh, dude.
There you go.
all right, dope.
Yep. Sorry, I just thought it was funny.
No, that's cool. I don't know. I think whatever way they explain it, I'm gonna be fine with because honestly, it doesn't matter that much to me. I'm in it for the robot, the beastie robot on beastie robot action. Nothing
Beastie.
else.
well, what if
I'm
they
gonna
end
roll
up?
into that
What if
movie
they end up?
theater in nothing but a trench coat and a fucking box of popcorn with a hole in the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all I'm worried about.
What would be funny is if they actually did end up calling it Beasties.
Ugly Fat, you take that back.
Animorphs movie would do better than a Beast Wars movie. On that note,
Oh,
hard to argue with that logic.
Ow.
We're gonna head out of here.
This from a
Mike,
man who would buy a KO.
Mike, where can people find you at?
You can find me everywhere as a Rainbow Bright Sparkle Angry Mike.
Dalton
you can find me everywhere at Daltonians TFs.
and Candace.
You can find me on Facebook, Canned Ice Art, Instagram, CannedIce.Santora, Twitter at Candace Santora, YouTube, Candace Santora.
Tyler.
You can find me everywhere, not keeping my mouth shut.
We wouldn't have it any other way.
And Brett, where can people find you at, man?
You can find me at anywhere that Tyler doesn't keep his mouth shut. Or make a mistake on Facebook.
That's easy enough. Before you get out of here, you should sit your ass down at the Cool Table Network. Another callback. And check out some cool shows such as Shadowcast Uncut, In the Realm, Tweety Ducks, Big Bangin, Bulge 40K, Plastic Nice, Bringing Mold, Aries Radio, Fish Communications, Building Up to It, Beverly Challenge, Masterpiece Shit Piece Theater, and a few honorable mentions. Blackout Shot, All Queued Up, Off the Runner, Cybercast, Galactic Gunboat, around 30 minutes with Matthew Deluxe Baldwin. Also, check out the Total Package podcast. They started up a few weeks ago. Some ladies of the realm. It's really awesome. Really awesome seeing their take on the hobby and kind of seeing them ask some questions. So really cool there. It's head up. Primarily, I've seen it through Russ the Muss's wife Anna. So, go check out Total Package Podcast. But with that said, we will see you all next week.
Bye.
Peace.
Nice.